I'm Dr. Newman and I teach marketing, and I absolutely positively love doing international experiences. I've taught at our partner school at Sanda in Shanghai twice. For 6 weeks each time, and I just love that experience. I've been to 38 countries and counting. I love to experience new cultures, and I especially like taking students on these experiences to some place where they've never been before, to look at a business topic or topics or issues, and to kind of just expand the worldview a little bit, and to see what it's like and see where people are similar everywhere you go, and then what the differences are and what we can learn from those differences.
I guess it's my turn. Hi, I'm Dr. Jia Shen. I'm a professor of information systems, also the chair of Infrasystems, Analytics, and Supply Chain Management. I've been at Ryder for how many years? 13 years. And this is a great pleasure working with Cindy Newman, Dr. Newman. We're collaborating on this trip to Denmark and Norway this year. As you probably guessed, I was not born here. I was born in Beijing, China, and I just love international experiences so much that I decided to have to relocate halfway around the world. So I've been here for 20 years. And I've led a few study tours, mainly to China, Hong Kong, in Asia. So this is my first time actually leading a study tour to Europe, but I feel this is such a great opportunity to see design thinking action, which we'll talk a little bit more in details later. So back to you.
Yeah, so Dr. Shen and I, when we were thinking about where would we want to go, what would we want to have the focus of the course to be, we kind of both gravitated towards areas that excite each of us, and then figured out now we can put them together, and they go together really well. And so I'm very interested in sustainability. I've run, I think this is going to be my 15th or 16th study tour since I've been at Ryder. And most of those tours have focused on the topic of sustainability from a business perspective. So looking at sustainability in terms of economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, how do you bring those things together, and how do you understand that there's multiple perspectives that come into play when you talk about sustainability, and sometimes there's conflicts between the interests, for example, of having business sustainability and also having environmental sustainability. While they might have similar goals, intersecting goals, sometimes they're at conflict with one another. And so how do you resolve that? How do countries resolve that? How do companies contribute their expertise? How do scientists contribute their perspective and expertise to come together and try to address those conflicts in a way that can move things forward? And that's where I think I really was interested to learn from Dr. Shen, as well as all of you learning from her during this course with the area of design thinking, because that's, in my limited understanding, that's sort of what it's about. It's looking at trying to find solutions to, from the perspective of the user, from the perspective of the consumer, in a way that's going to move things forward. So I'll let Dr. Shen talk more about why she's excited about design thinking.
Yeah, well, my bachelor was actually in computer science. So I came to this design from the technology point of view. Initially, I was in human-computer interaction. But as I read more into these things, I become more excited about innovation, right? Where does the next big ideas come from? And that's where I come into this idea of design thinking, which is to move design upstream. We don't just design the outside, right? The human-computer interface, or the outside of a product, the buttons, the colors. How about we take what designers know about the design process and move it up the stream as we design, as we come up with business ideas? How can we become more holistic or well-rounded, taking environmental as well as human needs and technology feasibility, economic viability, all these requirements into consideration as we design from the very beginning, the business ideas. So that's the essence, is design thinking, a creative problem-solving process that can actually be learned by everyone. So you don't have to be a perfect, painter in a extremely crazy person to be engaged in this type of thinking. So I think this is where I come from, and partnering with Dr. Cindy Newman, I'm really excited of seeing these things from the marketing, but also sustainability. This will be a perfect combination of all these elements that we have talked about, and seeing it in action in foreign places will definitely let all of us learn so much more.
Yeah, one of the places we're going when we are in Denmark, which is really exciting to me, is it's called House of Green, and they call it a showroom, but it's not a showroom of products per se for a company. It's a showroom of innovative and sustainable collaboration and ideas. And so what they do is they kind of bring a group. So we'll be a group that's going there, that they're going to host for a period of time, one of our days. And they're going to start out by showing us, here are some statistics about sustainability in your country, in the US, and here in Denmark. And they'll show some differences. And then they'll say, like, here's some common issues that we're both facing, that we're trying to solve, that we're trying to make progress on. And then they'll talk about how they use creative problem solving, how they use design thinking, how innovation can help to bring about collaboration to move forward on solving some very real issues or addressing some very real issues, whether it comes to energy, water usage, design of architecture and buildings. And so it's a really very interesting place that we're going to be very interactive. So while we're going to do a lot of site visits, like to businesses that are operating in both Copenhagen and Oslo, those visits aren't going to be sit and listen to people talk at you. They're going to be very engaging and very interactive and very much on point to the themes of the course. So that's one of the places that I'm really excited to go to and to be a part of.
Yeah. Well, just to follow up on that, I was recently sharing with Dr. Newman this, what is it called? Happy Planet Index, where all these countries rank among the top of the places that are considered the most rounded, right? People are most happy about their lives. So from the consumer's point of view, that's, consumers are not just satisfied with the next big shiny object. They want to be aligned with the meaning, right? The happiness, that's the next goal. So I want to go to those places as we shared. We are definitely heading towards the right direction to see how you can incorporate all these, human desires, environmental concerns, business viability, all these issues, and make them harmoniously exist in addition to, in contrast to, conflicting with each other. How can you bring these things together? That's what I'm most curious to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to be all of spring break in 2021. We're going to be exploring these two cities. It's going to be a little cold. So we're going to, make sure we're designed for the weather. When I was traveling in Ireland last year, it was cold and rainy the whole time. That shouldn't be the case for us, but you know, with the weather. But they told us there, the guides told us there, they said, there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. Just have to be prepared. So we'll make sure that everybody's prepared to be able to enjoy it. We're supposed to do a bicycle ride when we're in Copenhagen, because bikes is the way people get around there. You're going to have lots of time besides our scheduled visits to be able to explore the two cities where we're going to be, and so be able to have some free time and some guided free time, I'll call it. Like we're going to be visiting two neighborhoods, one in each city, that is known for being eco-friendly and innovative in their design and in their planning and their execution. And so we certainly will do a tour, a walking tour, but then we want you to have time to explore on your own and go and see, like, what's it really like to live in this kind of neighborhood, and what kind of, what are the foods, what are the places to hang out, just to sit and observe, people interacting and living their lives around you. So it'll be a packed itinerary, but there'll be plenty of time for you to do some exploration as well.
So we did find a combination of structured and unstructured time is the best way to balance this type of group versus authentic, personal experience, because you want the ability to interact with locals to see what they're eating, what they're doing, how they're just in leisure, what they're doing there. So there will be business visits, but also, time for you to hang out with friends and wander around neighborhoods. Our previous study tours in Asia, for example, students always love, going to those markets and, bargain and practice a little bit of their local language. But here we have a language issue a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be as problematic as when you go to China, for example.
Not at all.
So, yeah, should be safe to wander around. Yeah.
And be able to navigate. So
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of in a nutshell. In terms of the course part of this, we'll be having one class meeting in November, probably early part of November. Once we know everybody who's coming on the trip, I think the final payment is due in the middle of October. So we'll know at that point who's going to be coming with us. We'll have our first class meeting. We'll be very careful to schedule that when it doesn't conflict with other class times, and we'll give you plenty of notice as to when those are so you can arrange your other obligations and schedules around those. And then in the spring, we're going to have probably 3 meetings, class meetings before we leave. We'll be preparing you for background on sustainability, on design thinking, as well as the locations where we're going. So it's less overwhelming. You'll have a better sense of what am I going to experience? What's the culture like? What's the history? What's the background? And then each student in the course is going to have the opportunity to choose a topic related to the course material, related to where we're going, that's of interest to them. And then be able to do a little bit of prep work before we leave, but then hopefully be able to build in times during our trip where you can interview people, you can collect information, you can take photographs that are relevant to your specific research paper or topic that you're exploring. So you'll be able to kind of make your research come alive by going and asking questions and observing in action related to your topic. And then when we come back, we'll have one more class where we'll be able to share the results of those research and do some debriefing and reflection on what we learned and what we experienced while we were there.
Yeah. So as you choose your research topic, we do give you lots of help. We have suggested readings that we will discuss in class in our pre-departure tours. We'll give you some guidance and feedbacks. It will be around the idea of design thinking, sustainability. So it will tie everything together and allow you to apply it to your own interests, right? What you're combined with your major, for example, your Mary, you said you're marketing. So what about consumer trends and design thinking, innovation, sustainability? So within this general area, but then there will be lots of help to you before you choose a topic. As you go on the trip, we do require, I believe we require the daily, is it daily reflection, or after each visit, we ask you to also reflect. So those are good building components where you will be able to jot down something that can also contribute to your final paper as well. Because, constant thinking about reflecting on what you encounter on a daily basis is a good way to absorb, because otherwise there'll be a lot of exciting things happening on a daily basis.
Yeah. So the trip cost will cover, it's $44.40, I think, is where we landed with that. It'll cover your airfare, your hotels, all your tours, transportation in the 2 countries, breakfast every day, and lunches and dinners. We try to feed you at least twice a day. So if you're a very hungry person, you might need to buy another, meal or snack during each day. But we do try to make sure that you have kind of like built-in meals to that cost as well. So really, it's pretty all-inclusive. And
all the business visits, cultural visits, they're all included. Yeah, I think you only have to bring some personal if you want to buy souvenirs on your own, and maybe just a couple of lunches, I believe, because as we mentioned, we want to give you some freedom to explore local markets.
We'll plan all the travel. We'll give everyone the option to leave together from Ryder because it is spring break. We're leaving the Friday evening of spring break, coming back Sunday of the following Sunday. So we figure most people are going to be on campus or close to campus, and so we'll even arrange, the transportation to and from.
Oh wait, we still have the scholarship, right, Cindy?
Yeah, so you'll get more information in the fall, beginning of the fall semester. There's some scholarship opportunities for College of Business students in particular to be able to go, as well as some scholarship opportunities to apply for through the CIE. So you'll get some more information about that as well.